What's going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a very, very wonderful Monday. It's me, Lamont Tyson, Life Gang Avengers of Current Culture, TV show, movie reviews, and all other good stuff that go on these internet streets. And right now, I am waiting on Moochie and the living legend Larry to get in here. And before they join us, let me just shout out everybody that's watching. Thank you for coming and tuning in to me damn near 3 times a week, showing love, showing support, giving up super chats, man. I'm very grateful. And if you're watching me right now, please hit the like button and subscribe and check out all the people in my video description link that I do business with as YouTubers because they're all great. They've got great, great material, and we cover a lot of things. Tonight's review is Godfather of Harlem, Season 2, Episode 3. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching this show, but you watch Power, you watch Snowfall, you watch all these other things, you're really missing out. Godfather of Harlem is a must watch. And here's the living legend, Larry. He's in the building. How you feeling, brother?
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there, man. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm just chastising the audience that if they're not watching Godfather of Harlem, they're really missing out on some classic TV. What you think, my brother?
Yeah, it is solid, and they're doing an excellent episode, and it's amazing. It's both sort of a great thing that they're able to tell these stories from back then that are so relevant today, and also it's really a shame that we still have to tell the same stories.
Yeah,
and they're still relevant. I mean, we
Yeah.
should be telling stories like they were history and not like their current events.
Right. And what he's alluding to, my people, for me, last night's Godfather of Harlem, episode 3, is one of the best that they've done throughout the whole entire series. I mean, last night's episode could have been a climax for a whole lot of TV shows, and this wasn't. This is just episode 3.
Yeah, this is like a filler mid-season episode, and you're right. It could have been a finale for just about any other show.
It really could have. It was that damn good. And so, Larry, as we're getting people in here, we're going to go ahead and dive on into it. Let me read. Trust us, see. You need to stop. Larry, trust us, say. Let me put this up here for the people to see before we dive in. I can't afford to get addicted to anything else like I am to Grey's Anatomy and early Power season. Trust us. Yes, you can. Trust me. This show is so good. It's not going to cost you anything to get addicted to Godfather of Harlem. If they can continue this for about 5 seasons, we might be talking about this show being in the top 5 best black shows ever created. Forget the black show, just best shows created. If they can continue this great art they're going on. So, Larry, let me read one more comment from Mo, then we'll dive on into it. It looked like Bumpy still had on the same suit he whipped Chin's butt in. This is a very good show. I like it more than Snowfall. I can see why people would like this more than Snowfall. It has those elements because, as Larry said so eloquently last week, back during the 60s, if you was a big-time black drug lord, you also had to be a civil rights activist as well. You was taking care of the community, even though you was drugging up the community. The power and notoriety and money you got gave you some leverage, as you saw Bumpy Johnson do in this past episode, that allowed you to help social justice issues for black people.
Right.
And that's where this differs from Snowfall. So let's dive on into it, Larry. Let's give the people a clip that basically told the essence of what Bumpy Johnson went through last night. And this is it, my people.
I'll get you out of here. Stay strong. He needs medical attention.
He's got a bandage.
What is he being charged with?
Resisting arrest.
What was he arrested for?
Inciting a riot.
What does a shoe-shine man have to do with starting a riot?
Grabbed an officer's baton.
He's gonna die if he doesn't get help soon. And if he does, it's on you.
What did you say?
He dies. It's on you. Bumpy, please, let's go.
I had no idea.
You had no idea niggers get their asses kicked and thrown in jail for doing nothing? Cops up in Sugar Hill don't do that, huh?
Whew, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That was just a small snippet of what went down. So Larry's just me and you, like the old days. I guess hopefully Moochie will get her stuff back and she'll come back. But the episode starts out, my people, opening up with Bumpy's daughter and granddaughter just walking down the street. Granddaughter sees a classmate. He's offering her an apple. He goes to reach in his pocket to get the money, and somebody says he's stealing. What happens? The police gets to beating up the little boy, beating him bad, and he's beating him so bad that the shoe shine guy decides he needs to stop this police from beating an innocent young black man. So here's the shoe shine guy getting beat. Now, Larry, does this man look threatening?
No. He doesn't.
Larry, his glasses is so thick. I guarantee you he can see what's going on in Mars. He probably saw this fight coming a mile away. He's coming in there to save the little boy that's getting beat because the boy was offering Bumpy's granddaughter an apple. Larry, speak on this. Is the same thing that's going on nowadays. You heard the police officer said, what do we always hear on Fox News nowadays? Oh, they shouldn't have been resisting arrest and shit. Okay. Right. Now, Larry, you talked about we shouldn't be repeating history. Well, let me tell you a piece of history that we repeated that they seem to get away with. The insurrection. When white people go insurrect the Capitol. The fucking Capitol. Did we hear any police officers come out and say, oh, they was resisting arrest? Did you hear that, Larry? I didn't ever hear that.
No, because they didn't attack them. They didn't beat them. They just simply tried to push them back and allowed themselves to get beaten and sprayed with chemical weapons that ended up killing them. And then they still won't acknowledge that they killed them. I mean, dude gets sprayed with chemical weapons and has a stroke after. I mean, a young, healthy man has a stroke after getting sprayed with a chemical weapon, and they want to say that he died of natural causes. That's like someone getting hit by a truck and they say, oh no, he died of an accident because he bumped his head. It wasn't the truck that killed him, it was him bumping his head on the ground that killed him.
Yeah, so Larry, you hit my point.
That's what they do.
You hit my point right on the head. They never said that because they didn't try to arrest these MFers. So speak to this scene, Larry. How disgusted was you to see this and know that it's still going on today?
Yeah, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but this girl, the little girl has just been traumatized twice in 2 days. And with two people that she thinks are there that can help her and protect her, and for one, her most vigilant protector, her dad,
the male figure. Yeah, talk about it, Larry, because ladies and gentlemen, this was how the show opened. All right, and what Larry's alluding to is that the granddaughter was walking down the street with Bumpy. Okay, and the same police chief, this bum ass dude right here, sprints Bumpy in front of his daughter, pulls out his switchblade, says he's carrying a weapon, puts the blade right here to Bumpy's neck in front of his daughter, and then basically looks at the daughter and tells her to shut up when a man is speaking. Speak on it, Larry.
Yeah, I think that it's one thing. It was one thing because Bumpy was pissed for a number of reasons, but like when his daughter first came home and was in tears and crying and talked about how they beat him and they beat the boys, Bumpy was like, damn, he was upset, but he wasn't quite at that line yet. He was really upset because he's like, little boys get beat all the time by the cops out here. That's just what happens. But then when his sister said they beat Cecil,
Mm.
he was pissed.
He was,
because
man.
I mean, back in the day, before men had therapists, they had their bartenders and their shoe shine men, and that was it. And Cecil, I can imagine, just like a lot of shoe shine people all over the world, he was very important to the people in his community. He knew everybody. He was just sort of a prized member of the community, and for them to attack him, you could see when she said they went after Cecil, he knew. He was like, Cecil is just an old gentle soul. There's no way in hell that they should have hit Cecil. That changed everything for him. But then when they went out, but then when that officer was disrespectful to his daughter and threatened him in front of his daughter, at that point it was like it went from being a civil rights thing to it's personal now. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do the whole civil rights thing, but I'm about to get busy with it on the personal level. You're gonna feel what I feel, and I won't run ahead any further. But when he talks to Gigante, when he talks to Chin, I mean, when he appealed to him from a father to father, daughter to daughter, he was Chin. That's where he got to him right there. He was like, yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, my brother. So we are able to jump around with this show because they've got so many moving parts. But we'll talk about the conversation and this strange bedfellow relationship between Chin and Bumpy that is going so well. I'm a little afraid of how it's gonna end, Larry. Are you getting that feeling? Because they're making money hand over fist. They're actually respecting each other, and making money will do that for you. Making money at a high clip will make you have love and respect for someone that you could possibly hate. But it's going so well, I'm a little nervous, but Larry, we'll get there. So after Cecil, as Larry said, when Cecil was beat, this is when Bumpy was all in. Bumpy's wife wants to hold a protest. She goes talk to Clayton Powell. Clayton Powell gets involved, and Clayton Powell at first seemed like he didn't really want to do a whole lot, but Mamie had to lay the smack down on him like, look, all Bumpy's doing for you, and Bumpy donated $10,000 to these causes. Speak on how Mamie was able to get Clayton Powell on the team for this social justice.
I mean, she did, but part of me feels like it probably didn't take a whole lot of prodding because he's already down for that. That's what he's all about. And he loves beautiful women. So, I mean, Mamie going up there and hollering at him is just that extra little frosting on the cake for him. And
Larry, Mamie deserves to be put on this screen right now for everybody to share.
She's a beautiful woman, boy. She was fired up. She was fired, and I like her because she knows exactly what she's into. She knows what her husband does. She knows what she's into, and she's finding a way to make her own way in that world. And when she and she went to the right person. Adam Clayton Powell was up there. He loves the attention. He loves being out there and getting, like this season started off with his driver saying, "No, we shouldn't be here," and he was like, "I need to speak to my people. I need to be out there." And so he goes into the pulpit and starts preaching. And this is another opportunity for him to speak and be in front of the people, be in front of the cameras. And I mean, this is right in his wheelhouse. So, I mean, this is fantastic because we get to see that we're getting all these different facets of the Black community converging on one focal point, which is this police department and this issue. You get Adam Clayton Powell coming through with his as a congressman and all the weight that carries. We get to see Malcolm X coming through, with the way that he commands, the community and respect from Black folks in there. So, if he says jump, they're going to jump. And then we get to see Bumpy Johnson coming through from the criminal side with his criminal element, basically telling this cop, "Oh yeah, by the way, you ain't shit." He was like, "You want to threaten me in front of my daughter? You want to terrorize my daughter? Let me show you what terror is, because because white people, black people are used to having white people run up and terrorize us. It's scary, but we're used to it. Your people aren't used to having a black man run up in your house, or anybody for that matter run up in your house and threaten your wife and your kids. You think you're insulated because you're a cop, and you're not. And I just want to show you, if you mess with me, I can touch you or anybody else anytime I want to. You know?
And that's what he did too. I mean, he let him have it. But alongside that main storyline, we also had something me and Larry both predicted went down yesterday with the home girl right here.
Stella.
Me and Larry both predicted it happened both ways. We said it. So this is Chen's daughter. Everybody knows that she is still upset about Chen taking out not one, but two of her love interests. All right. And so what does she do? And this is one of my favorite characters, mind you, by the way.
Stella's a G.
Yeah, Stella tough, man. Stella is still just kind of detached from reality after what happened to Teddy. Because Larry, once you go black, you don't go back. And she's having fucking orange juice with her mother, freshly squeezed orange juice, mind you, Larry. And what did Stella do when she seen the freshly squeezed orange juice? She looked at the bag and said, freshly squeezed orange juice from Florida. And she put two and two together, Larry. And what did she figure out?
Yeah, she figured out homeboy was back. She is not a dummy at all.
She figured out Benny was back in town, ladies and gentlemen. And me and Larry predicted that her and Ernie in cahoots would probably kill Benny. And before I even get to what really happened, let's talk about how she goes to the mama to tell the mama that the person that killed her son is back in town. And she basically was asking the mama for a blessing. And Larry, what did the mama say?
The mom said, I don't want to know. You know?
Yeah, the mama said, you know, she didn't really believe in killing, and anything that she was gonna do, she didn't want to know. The mama said, don't put me in it. And as a black person, Larry, how can you fault that mother? I think deep down on the inside, the mom probably would like to see the person that killed her son dead. But during that era, Stella could easily, you know, as a black person, it's hard to trust white people during that era. Stella could easily be like, the person who orchestrated this was Teddy's mom. I'm clinically insane. And they go after Teddy's mom and throw her into jail. Stella gets to stay out scot-free.
Well, that's what they're gonna do based on the preview for the next episode.
Hey man, see man, see that's why you gotta pump your brakes, man. Got to be more careful. Man,
you brought the theory out there, and they already showed it. They showed that it looks like that might be the way that Ernie's thinking. But yes, I feel what you're saying. She wasn't comfortable saying yes, go ahead and do it. She didn't want it to be seen as like she was ordering the hit. Stella came to her and talked to her, and she was like, "You want my permission?" She was like, "I can't give that to you. You know, I don't want to know about what you do."
Not to mention, Larry, did you catch the hot conversation between Stella and her uncle, the priest, when she basically was telling the uncle, she's like, look, dude, I know you slept with such and such in this family. Don't be trying to tell me what's right and wrong. I love every minute of Stella's storyline. She checked the priest on his dirty deeds. Then she checked the priest on listening to the daddy's dirty deeds. Man, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all's favorite is back in the building. I think the Mooch is back in the building. Moochie, are you back in the building? There's the Mooch.
I'm trying to, I can't see y'all though. I'm trying to.
Oh, Lord. Well, we can see you and we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while you fixing everything, we want to understand what was going through your mind through the whole saga of Stella. And when talk about how Stella broke down her uncle, the priest, for all his dirty deeds, when she was basically saying, I'm going to kill the man that killed Teddy.
Okay.
I think
she is her father's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Remember she said that? I am my father's daughter.
She said that. How did you feel about the way she?
I was messing with this thing. I don't know what. What happened? And it was like I was just about to go on, and then bam, it went off.
Oh, it's all good.
Like
We got you
20 minutes
now.
for y'all.
We got you now. We can hear you loud and clear. At some point in time, Larry, do you think that we're going to see this priest killed?
Nah, I don't think we'll see him killed, but he might have to go away for a little while.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to
You
do
might have to
something.
go to Florida.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Ernie. I think this killing might actually bring Bumpy and Chin closer together, because I think that Chin might have to end up sending Stella down to Harlem and having Bumpy hide her away for a while, because I think the other families are going to want to come after him, probably her and Ernie, for for this. I don't know, because like from the previews, it looks like maybe they're going to try and put it all off on Teddy's mom and make it seem like she found out that he was back in town and killed him, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, how's this black woman going to know that this Italian gangster's back in town? They don't roll in the same circles or anything.
I mean,
that's what it looked like. It looked like they are going to try to pin it on Teddy's mom.
I mean, at the end of the day, Larry and Mooch, we've seen white people with less evidence tell lies that get people locked up for life.
Yeah.
I mean, haven't we? I mean,
yes.
There's people still trying to say that Trump was stolen out of the White House. I mean, do they really need, especially in 1968, do they really need a reason other than to just say she's a nigger? She's a Negro, and it's her fault.
No.
That's the only reason they need it. That's the only reason they need it.
No, I believe he's going to do that because, okay, my question was this. I wanted to ask y'all this. Do you think that this whole shooting incident is going to bring Stella and Ernie closer together?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Definitely.
Because he was like, he knew what he had to do once she shot him.
He knew it. But you know what? I want you to keep up with this, Mooch. At the beginning of this episode, Chin told Ernie, you and Benny need to make up and be friends. If me and Bumpy can be friends, well, not friends, but we can tolerate each other, you two gyps is what Chin said. You two can be friends. So at the end of the day, Ernie wasn't feeling Benny anyway, because of Stella. And Benny knew that Ernie has feelings for Stella, and he was picking on him this whole episode about his love for Stella. You went behind the ears, you drive for her panty draw, all kinds of stuff. He wanted to kill her, not to mention it also ingratiated him with Stella. But I still don't think Stella's going to have any greater feeling for him. She might continue to use him for something.
I think she's going to eventually sort of fall for him. It may not be that same sort of intense love, pure, sort of innocent love that she felt for Teddy, but I think she's going to feel something for him, because she's going to be like, damn, this is the second time this dude came and put his life at risk, to try and help me. Like the first time when he tried to come and warn Teddy, she's thinking like, I'm in love with Teddy. He loves me. And instead of him wanting to kill Teddy, he comes and tries to warn us. And, that didn't work out, but he tried. And then here she comes up, she blasts dude. And instead of like turning her over to her dad, or, he wasn't going to kill her. I mean, to be honest with you, it's kind of messed up for Ernie, but Ernie probably has the best of both worlds in this situation, because when Benny was ordering him, say, I'm ordering you to kill her. I mean, I think Chin's going to be able to say, look, you know that he didn't have a choice. Benny's ordering this dude to kill my daughter. He didn't have a choice but to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I kind of feel like after he's done all of this for her, I feel like she's gonna feel some sort of way. She's gonna feel some sort of connection with them that might actually lead into them being together. I don't think it's gonna be the same sort of love that she felt with Teddy, but I think she might end up being with him.
She
I don't know
already
about
said
that.
to her. She already said to her father, "I'm going to find a nice Italian boy and marry." So I feel like she's already on the path just to appease her father.
That's the thing. I mean, like I said, if she's going to do anything with Ernie, it's going to be to use him. Let's take a look at this. Steve Urkel was chasing Laura Winslow for damn near 4 seasons. She never touched
Urkel?
him. She never touched him until he turned into Stefan.
Stefan.
There ain't no magical machine that Ernie can get into and turn into Ernesto. It ain't gonna happen like that. There ain't gonna be no magical machine for
Well,
that.
he did. If you see the coming attractions for the next show, haircut.
Okay. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna try.
but see, Ernie's not some geek dude that he can't get girls. He could. I mean, to be honest with you, Ernie probably could get any chick in the neighborhood he wanted. It's just the one chick that he wants doesn't want him back. But I mean, he's a young man. He's good looking. He works for the neighborhood boss. The dude is. I mean, he's on the up. He's coming up. I mean, the only problem is the only chick he wants is the one that doesn't want him. You know,
life is tough like that, my brother. Life is tough like that. I mean, hell, one of the richest men in the world is getting divorced because his wife don't want him no more. Whoop-de-doo. You know, I mean,
well, we don't know if she doesn't want him or if he don't want her. We don't know.
Bill Gates is getting divorced after 27 years from Melinda Gates. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep this story rolling with y'all. Let's talk about these two. The Great Apostle is back in town. And the great apostle, what can I say? This dude is just he's a dick. I'm sorry. I know you ain't supposed to talk about folks' pastors and all that. But this dude, he's just worthless. Basically,
it's obvious he's jealous.
Very. I mean, he's playing the hell out that role. Not only is he jealous, he keeps dangling in front of Malcolm's face. Do you want to get back in? Do you want to get back in? Malcolm has served up Muhammad Ali on a platter. Okay?
Yeah.
They get a meeting together. Muhammad Ali is ready to take, Cassius Clay is ready to take the name that Malcolm X gave him. And the apostle says, no, you cannot take his name. Why did he say that, Moochie?
Because he didn't want to have X. He wanted to have something with his name in it. That's what I thought.
Right.
He feels like he said Malcolm cannot choose your name. Your name is given by me.
Mm-hmm. The apostle. And then he tells Malcolm, basically, no more social activism for you. That little line and stunt you pulled last season about chickens coming home to roost when Kennedy died, no more of that. Which just shows you just how crooked the apostle is, because Malcolm is in there hot right now because he wants the nation to try and help out the black community. Larry, speak on this apostle and what is his real intentions, my brother?
I mean, it's like a lot of these other dudes out there that are charlatans. I mean, they're after power and money. And I mean, if you're up there taking, telling people no, go ahead, get into the streets, do your social activism, piss off the cops, piss off the politicians. You tell people that it's okay to do all that, then all of a sudden you have all these eyes on you. The police start looking at you. The government starts to look at you. The FBI is investigating you more so than they already were. And then all of a sudden it starts to come out that you're taking money and you're spending lavishly while your people are impoverished. You're knocking up, 15, 16-year-old girls, and you have basically a harem of chicks with babies all over the south side of Chicago. And, It's just, I mean, he doesn't want people looking into his business.
Wait a minute, Larry.
He doesn't want people to see what's going on.
I just caught that, Larry. What are you insinuating, Larry? A harem of chicks in the south side of Chicago? We talking a little R. Kelly here? What are we talking about, Larry?
History do repeat itself.
Oh, and then Moochie gonna say history repeating it.
I wasn't thinking about R. Kelly, but I guess if it fits, you know.
Well, the way you painted the picture, you was a Picasso with that one, Larry.
I'm telling you, man. Disney would like to have you working at Pixar, my brother, because you set the blaze on that one. But yeah, they was a
jealous. Picasso with that. You was like.
But yeah, for sure, they are very jealous of Malcolm. And the thing is, Malcolm carries so much weight back then because he was fearless in trying to, when he became conscious, he was conscious. He was trying to help his people. And no one is as, I don't want to say as well spoken, but no one can get in front of the microphone, in front of a camera, and put together the words the way Malcolm could do during that era. And that's why so many people hated him, because they wanted what he was able to do. Now,
right, you know, Suburbia Jones says Malcolm X was a wimp, he being controlled by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm X wasn't a wimp. Malcolm X was in fact, he was not being controlled by Elijah Muhammad, which was the reason why Elijah Muhammad had suspended him in the first place. You know, I mean, that's just really what it was. He was upset. Elijah Muhammad was upset because he couldn't control Malcolm. And then it was taking all that effort, and even it took so much to bring, you know, Cassius Clay in there to get him back into the nation, because during this time, they told him, you're to be silent, you're not to speak. And then what did he complain about? What did Elijah Muhammad complain about? Oh, I keep opening up the newspapers and seeing you in the newspaper. I turn on the TV and you're on TV talking. You keep on talking. You keep on speaking. He has an order of silence, and he's not being silent. He's not being controlled at all.
And to make it even worse, Cassius Clay had a fight where everybody thought he was going to lose. And the nation chose not to show up because they didn't want to be on the side of a loser. But who showed up and prayed with them? Malcolm.
Right.
And not only did
he never forgot that.
He had an issue with that too.
Yeah, of course he had an issue with that, because he called Malcolm on the phone, ring. You might not want to hang around. He called Cassius Clay on the phone, said, you don't want to hang around Malcolm. He's bad business. Cassius Clay said, I don't give a damn about that. He the only one that showed up for me. And they took pictures and everything. So I'm interested to see how that story plays out. We'll see. But we know, us historians know how it really played out. But let's just see how they dramatize it on the show. So now we get on to Bumpy goes down to the jailhouse to see his boy Cecil. Damn. And when he's in jail, he's beat to holy hell. And this punk ass cop is going to say, well, he's got bandages in there. Moochie, talk about this whole scene, since you wasn't here when we first started talking about it. And did you really think that Bumpy was just going to step off? The man threatened you, cop. The man said if he dies, it's on you. And he was not scared of this dude, because so many people back in that era lived on fear. Fear alone. Moochie, speak on it. Uh-oh. Did we lose the Mooch?
I think we might have lost her.
Yeah,
oh, there she goes.
He was going basically to defend the boys, and he's not even a confront. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're in and out, though.
In and out.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're in and out.
I don't know.
Well, while you work on that, Larry, speak to this scene.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Wow. Okay. My thing was this. When he went to check on him, and he saw that he had no type of medical attention, and he said the thing with the band-aid, he was like, I'm coming back, and I'm making sure he gets out of here. And the guy, I got his name.
Who, the
The
cop? The police chief?
yeah, Mills. That's his name, Mills. He was a butthead, yo. He was just really like he was already intimidated by Bumpy anyway, because he knows he's a street dude.
Yeah,
so he's already mad at him anyway, because he knows he has more money than him and this and that. And I touched on the part about him, what he did in front of his daughter, but that rubbed Bumpy the wrong way, where he was ready to get some get back.
He sure was. And Larry, I'm gonna bring you in on this. So often, and I put this lawyer up here who Bumpy just brought in to say he was the lawyer for Cecil when he really wasn't, because Bumpy knows the law. Did you see the way that white man's jaw dropped when Bumpy could recite the statutes to his face, and he didn't think he could do it? But
yeah,
I'm telling y'all, there were so many gems in this episode. You got to go watch this. But Larry, talk about, this is something that we see in the black community right now. You have a lighter skinned black dude who lives in a better neighborhood, I'll say. And he, for whatever the reason, he doesn't think that certain issues are affecting the African American community, because you heard Bumpy say to him, what, they don't come beat niggas in Sugar Hill? Yeah. And Larry, we see this with blacks going Republican every which way but loose nowadays. Oh, there's no such thing as racism. Or if you just do what the police tell you to do, everything be all right. Speak on just the dynamic of how we're seeing this today, Larry, and Bumpy's having a conversation with his brother.
Yeah, this is one of those things that is challenging when you I deal with this same dynamic with my friend circle and my family, because when you grow up in a place where you have a certain amount of money and safety, it's easy to believe that everybody has the same thing, or that everybody should have the same thing when they don't. And it's hard for some people to understand that. It's hard for some people to understand that terrible things could happen to other people and it not be their fault. People often think, oh, well, if something terrible happened to them, they must have done something. Like oftentimes people, well, what did they do? Nothing. They got arrested. They must have done something. No.
Yep. It's like
well, the cops just don't beat people for no reason. Yes, they do. And so this guy, I think, was suffering from that. It was like, yeah, he probably grew up with, with folks that had maybe had a little bit of something. They were able to send him to college, obviously. I mean, he went to law school back then. I think the only law school you were probably going to was Howard. So, I mean, he
Central
probably,
and NC Central down here in Durham, North Carolina.
So, I mean, there was only a couple of them that he went to. So, I mean, obviously he was a very privileged, well-to-do black dude, because I mean, you had to be if you were a lawyer back then, So I think he just, he just didn't fully get it. And I think seeing that really opened his eyes up. And it was a good thing. Oftentimes you see that. Somebody mentioned the whole Jack and Jill bourgeoisie class there. I mean, there is definitely that whole Jack and Jill thing. I don't know if he was part of that, but it was definitely that whole thing, that whole sort of dynamic and element within the community. And it's good for him to see that. It allows him to recognize, yeah, there's a problem here that I may not be touched with, but all it takes is for me to drive in the wrong neighborhood at some point, dropping off a coworker or a friend, and I could be that same dude in the prison cell with my head busted open. And
exactly.
So, but I'm glad he was there. I'm glad he was there to talk to him. He definitely seemed shook and scared, where you see Bumpy wasn't afraid at all. It was basically telling that cop, if he dies, it's on you. And the cop was like, what did you say? And he was like, oh, you act like you didn't hear me, Bumpy? Let me repeat it for you. And the attorney got real shook, like, oh, damn, we need to get up out of here, Bumpy. But Bumpy knows if something happens to him, all of Harlem is going to burn down. That cop is going to end up dead. They're probably going to go after his family. Bumpy knows that there's a certain level of protection when you're somebody that controls violence. The cop can beat some kids on the street. He's not gonna beat Bumpy. He could, and this cop got a lesson where he rolled up thinking he can pull a knife on Bumpy. He got a lesson. He got a lesson. You can't do that to people
you
like
on
that.
the horse, Larry. You on the horse. You on the horse and you galloping.
Larry need to be in a Western.
He like
He
this.
stay on the damn horse.
We're all over the place today, man. We're all over the
Get off that horse.
all through this episode today.
Get off that horse.
But let's go ahead and get on to that point, because the climax of this thing was just amazing. But before we get there, we do have to talk about how Bumpy did go to Chin not once but twice, and it's like, look. Chin, I know you got the police in your pocket, and you know, he basically is telling Chin, look, I need you to do me this solid. I'm gonna offer double what you paying. Chin's like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. Okay. Bumpy gets pulled by the cop, and the cop, you know, embarrassed the man in front of his daughter, then tells him he wants more money on top of that. Okay. So then after that, Bumpy goes back to Chin, be like, look, MF, we're going to have to handle this business. The man assaulted me in front of my daughter. And like Larry said, to start this review off, that touched Chin, because Bumpy was able to parallel to Chin. You have a daughter, you have a wife, blah, blah, blah. I got the same thing. The only difference between me and you is that you are not black. They're not treating you like this.
Right.
Chin was down for Bumpy, which got us to the end of this story. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you it almost made me clap, this shit was good to me.
I was clapping.
First things first, before we even get to the part that I was like, man, I'm about to clap on this. Clayton Powell and Mamie roll up in there singing old spiritual Negro hymns and we shall overcome and all this good stuff. And the police was about to kick them out. Larry, I'll give that part to you first. Speak on Mamie and Clayton Powell coming in there during the peaceful protest that Larry has told y'all the only way to get things done. They came in there peacefully and the police was about to kick them out. Larry, speak on it.
Yeah, see, that's the great thing when you have a congressman like that, because they can threaten the shoe shine man. They can threaten the teenage boys around there. They can even threaten Bumpy Johnson to a certain extent. They can't threaten a congressman. Like you can try and be Billy Badass, but you put hands on a congressman, and now you're not assaulting a man, you're assaulting an institution. And at that point, it's no longer, oh, these are just some cops beating Negroes. Nah, it's all of a sudden it's now like we need to send the feds in there and we need to straighten this crap out, because you can't have, because you know you might have the FBI pissed off thinking we don't really care about this black dude. But if Congress is pissed off and they're like, okay, yeah, cool, you don't want to do that, guess what? You're getting no funding next year. Make do with left over, nothing moving forward. You know? And that's what Congress can do. When you piss off, they just cut your funding. So there's all kinds of laws that go, and not to say that these cops would have really had anything done to them, but they might have. But there's all kinds of laws about extra protections that are put upon Congress people. There's all if you assault a congressperson, it's much more serious than just assaulting a regular person. So I don't know what those laws are, but I mean, I know that there are criminal enhancements on that assault.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, Clayton Powell's in there.
He put himself in harm's way. That's exactly what we want our leaders to do.
Right.
Be right there at the tip of the spear.
Get right on in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, he comes in there with Mamie. They're singing spiritual Negro hymns and having a good time. So, Moochie, get ready. You know I'm about to come to you. And this punk ass dick right here says, "Get them out of here. I don't care. You know, I don't care about their amendments and protesting. Get them out of here." And the moment he says that, this is when I was like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down." Malcolm and Bumpy come in there together. God told be more care. Boy, that had to be the most intimidating sight for white people back in the day. Malcolm and Bumpy coming in there together. And he comes in there, he tells that cop, you about to do XYZ. The cop's trying to be a hard butt until Bumpy hands him the phone and say, I got your damn family tied up. I got your little white daughter tied up. I got your wife tied up. Now what? Moochie, speak on it.
Look, when they walked in there, Malcolm and Bumpy, and he said to him, oh, you're coming to sit in? And they said, no, we're coming to stand up.
Right.
That was the line I was like, because he gave it to him. Nah, we're not coming to sit in. We coming to stand up.
And next thing you know, they got the whole family. Larry, talk about that one, my brother. I mean, because homeboy was still trying to be somewhat tough. He was slick tongue and all that. Then when he found out he had his family, that smile went upside down.
I mean, this is one of those things that people often I mean, this is the thing that people often don't like. This is the part of the world that people don't like, but it's so necessary that when you're dealing with people who are just violent brutes, when they are just there are certain people in this world, in our societies, that cannot be dealt with logic or reason or finesse. It takes just pure unadulterated violence to control them, and that police sergeant was one of them. The captain, whatever he was one of them. He is the type of dude that, in order to deal with him, he has to know, oh, if you hurt me, the pain that you will then feel as a response will be tenfold. You know, it can't be an eye for an eye. It has to be an eye for a leg and an arm and a neck and a back and everything else. You have to make it so painful that they have to be willing to swallow their pride and their anger to let it go. You know, and that's what they did right here. Bumpy went out there and said, I understand that Malcolm can't do this. I understand that Adam Clayton Powell can't do this, but guess what? I can. I'm a criminal. This is what I do. You know?
Street justice. That's what he called it. Street justice.
Right. Just like
that's exactly what it was.
Exactly. Just like Bumpy was like, I'm not a snitch. I can get a full immunity for anything that I do. He was like, I'm not a snitch. He was like, so there's certain types of justice that I will do and won't do. This is the type of justice I will do. And I'm cool with that. I mean, to be honest with you, if we had more of this, and I know this is terrible, but if we had more of this, we would have less of some of the stuff that happens today. If we had cops that want to go up there and kill kids, kill these young black men, if all of a sudden their families ended up getting tied up and held hostage or kidnapped or disappeared, and all of a sudden, you know, it gets to be known when you have these crazy cops in Florida talking about, I'm putting cases on black men. If all of a sudden their families start disappearing, stuff gets turned right. Stuff gets turned. It's gonna be ugly. Don't get me wrong. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be ugly. But the truth of the matter is, it's ugly for black people. And if it's gonna be ugly for us, then we need to make it a little bit ugly for them. And I'm not saying people should go out there and kidnap people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that sometimes people need to feel a little bit of the pain that they're dishing out, so that they can understand what other people go through when they put them through it.
Oftentimes we see in politics, politicians coming out against a whole lot of different social stances. Oh, we lost Moochie again. Here's one stance that a lot of politicians come out against until it happens to somebody in their family. Someone who becomes gay or lesbian. They're always like, oh, no, I'm not giving them no rights. Fuck that. And then next thing you know, your daughter is locking lips with another girl. I kissed the girl and I liked it on some some Christina Aguilera shit, you know, whatever. And like Larry said,
all of a sudden you want to be up there talking about it's gay and they should have, you know, equal rights in housing and everything else. That's what it should have been all along. But it took them to be personally affected before they finally are willing to do something.
All right, Mooch,
Sometimes you need to touch them before, because they're used to touching. This captain's used to touching other people. He needed to be touched. And he got touched right there.
You ain't lying. He got touched from his butthole to his mouth. All right,
And
Mooch,
I'm sorry, but here's the thing. He has that captain has to know that any black man that's willing to go into this man's house, this white man's house in his white neighborhood and tie up his kids, he has to know this dude is willing to kill everybody, because he knows this dude is serious. There's like, you're not going to send some half-cocked, just some like half-ass dude over there to tie up this white police officer's family and this white neighbor. You know you're sitting like you're straight up G over there. That's like, oh, I'll cut all their throats and won't think twice about it. You know? So he knew this dude was in danger. This was not an idle threat.
Well, it got Cecil the medical attention and out of jail and all that. So Moochie, you get the last word, summarize it, because I've got one more thing we need to talk about in the last 10 minutes. So summarize your feelings.
I like the part where he opened the envelope with just the news clippings in there, because he thought he was going to get a stack of cash. And he was sorely mistaken.
He sure
and he
was.
Like, what's this? No, you need to call home. You need to call home. And they all gagged up. Lined it up.
Oh man. Them people that's in bondage right there is playing the hell out of them roles. I mean, that mom looks very, very distraught. The daughter looking down, the son just looked like he just want to go to sleep. Once he put that blade, you took Bumpy's favorite thing, his own little switchblade, and you think you're gonna rub it across his neck in front of his daughter, and nothing's gonna happen.
And that, street
justice.
And Chin gave him the address. Chin gave him the address.
Oh yeah.
Once he said that whole speech about my daughter, he did this in front of my daughter, and he put himself in his shoes for that first time as a black man to me. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Part is that the mafia has a code where you don't go after people's families. That families are off limits. You don't go after kids. You don't go after wives. And I think that when
that's within their circle. That's within their circle.
No, I know, but I'm saying I think that's partly what it is that when that cop broke that code, and when I think it's not just at their circle. I feel like it's criminals in general. It's like you don't go after what they don't look at themselves as civilians. They often say you don't go after civilians. You don't go after the kids. You don't go after the wife. Those people are off limits.
Yeah, Larry, that's the old school criminals. We're
talking about the old school right now. This is what we're back in the 60 years ago, 70 years ago. So,
Black Beach. I think they're trying to get us to perhaps like Chin, but this relationship between him and Bumpy is going too well. Something's going to happen. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I don't know what, but something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get the squeeze put on them, and they're going to fracture that relationship. Something's going to happen.
My question is this: Black Beach put a good point out there. My question is this to everyone: do you think it's going to go left if Teddy's mother's killed? Because
I don't know. It might, but I
Amy and all of that.
I think Chin and Bumpy are going to become real allies for a while. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know how long, but I think for a while they're going to become real allies, because right now they're sort of friends of convenience because they're making lots of money together. But I think we've already seen a quick glimpse of it in the trailer. We're going to see where the rest of the families are getting real jealous of Chin because he's making so much money. And Bumpy already went to them.
And he came to Bonanno first, but he was too scared to make the move. He said, "We don't do business with your kind."
Right. So he went to both of them, and both of them said no, they didn't want to work with them. And here's Chin, the one that they were actually kind of worried about. They were like, "We can't work with Bumpy." Chin would be pissed. He'd be horrified. He'd be pissed. He'd be a problem for us. And here it is Chin, the one that's actually working with them. And so I think there's going to be a lot of jealousy coming through there. They're going to be pissed off about Benny getting killed. I think that they're going to end up becoming allies, like real allies of sorts, for a while. It may not be forever, but it's going to be for a little while.
Yep.
Like I said last week, Vincent Chin needed to get that fight. That fight needed to happen because he needed to get rid of some aggression.
Mm-hmm. And he definitely ain't taking his aggression out on his wife, because I don't think they doing nothing with each other.
You know what? Nah, they not ugly.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our review.
It was funny though. Chin didn't like that porn stuff.
No, he didn't. That's why I said that. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, he was like, I don't like this perversion stuff. Get this out of here. He was
get this out of my face. He wasn't feeling that part. But that's it for Godfather of Harlem, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel dropped some news today. We've got to talk about that. So they dropped a video tribute to Phase 4. And I want us to spend the last good 5 minutes talking about that. But before we do, let me show you the video that they put out for all your viewing pleasures, because y'all know I am a Marvel guy. Here we go.
Uh-oh. I don't see anything yet. There we go.
Oops.
It was there.
I don't see nothing.
I love being with people. It's the most incredible thing in the world.
What are you doing? Oh, this is nice.
That world may change and evolve. But the one thing that will never change, we're all part of one big family. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
That's right.
We're all part of one universe.
Wakanda forever!
That moves ever upward and onward to greater glory.
On your left.
Damn.
A lot of lives. But I'm done running from my past. We have unfinished business. Who's we?
Oh boy.
When you love something, you fight for it. We're the ones who changed everything.
I feel like I was about to eat popcorn in the movie theater.
Woo, woo. Oh, Lord, Jesus, take all my money, Marvel. I'm already wearing all y'all paraphernalia. Y'all might as well start sponsoring me a little more. Lord, Larry, I done told y'all I'm going to be right up in the theater. me and L right here in the theater, just like this. That's every Marvel movie. This is coming with me. Every single one of them. We're gonna be in there. But there was one thing that B. Avery brought to my attention, Larry and Moochie.
I'm listening.
They gave you all those. They even introduced the Fantastic Four, but they forgot about this guy. They forgot all about Blade.
He did something separate though. I saw that he posted. Did you look at the thing that I sent you earlier?
I did.
Okay.
Are they bringing him into the MCU?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the MCU, but why they ain't give him a little snippet in this trailer?
I don't know, but they was just saying. I gotta look at the thing because I'm a Marvel head too, because that's what got me intrigued with your channel from the beginning.
See,
isn't he part of the Eternals?
I'm not as
who's he with? Because he's with the team, though,
Captain America outfit, right?
Right.
I've been a Marvel head, so it is what it is.
What's the team that he becomes a part of? Because I know Blade ends up teaming up with some other folks eventually.
No, he winds up teaming up with the not the Howling Commandos. God, it's escaping me right. Many times I done read that comic. Basically, it's going to be him, Morbius, Ghost Rider. I forgot the name of that team. It escapes me, but he's not with the Eternals. But did y'all catch what they said about Captain Marvel? They didn't say Captain Marvel. They said the Marvels.
Yeah,
we're gonna have.
So that's not like it's more than one.
Daggone
right. We're gonna get Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
We're gonna get Kamala. We're gonna get Captain Marvel, and then we're gonna get that sweet, sweet lady we got from WandaVision. And I hope she wears outfits just like that.
I like the
well, she's gonna have to wear something else because that's her sword outfit. She's gonna have to get a.
Yeah, they probably put her
Marvel outfit.
They probably put her in her traditional black and white. Probably is what they're gonna wind up doing with her. But then,
like I said, I like her because she's chocolate.
Hey man, hey, once you get a good taste of that chocolate, bro, you ain't eating no white chocolate. I can tell you that right now. Then we get on over here. Here's the full list of everything that's coming out.
Wakanda forever.
What'd you say?
I said Wakanda forever.
I want to ask you both, and I'll start with you, Larry. What two movies on this list are you most looking forward to? Just two.
Just two, huh?
Just two.
Oh man, probably Shang-Chi and Wakanda Forever.
Okay. See,
man, that's tough though because I want to say I'm looking forward to Wakanda Forever, but I'm so scared about what they might do because they could really, really wreck that. So it's sort of a toss-up between Wakanda Forever and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That one looks like it's going to be incredible.
Okay, Moochie, which two are you most looking forward to? You only get two. You only get two. Yes, you only get two.
Oh, all right. Since I only could pick two, I'm gonna go with because I seen the trailer.
You blinked out.
The trailer looked like it was fire.
What was that?
I said Black Widow's trailer. It has me wanting to see it, and they keep teasing us. They kept teasing us with it, where it's like, all right,
okay. Moochie, we lost you again, Moochie. The Moochie. So I did get Moochie.
Am I here? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. So you said Black Widow, and what was the other one?
I said Black Widow and Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
And I feel like the reason why I say Black Widow is because they kept teasing us with the trailers and the little snippets with.
Boy, Marvel just don't want you to talk. I thought you couldn't hear me. So for me, it's hard to make two, but because I have an idea of what to expect. I have an idea of what to expect from everything on this list. I'm going to pick Wakanda Forever and Fantastic Four because I don't know what to expect from a Marvel-based Fantastic Four. Only that I can
see Fox, right?
So all we've seen is Foxes, and those haven't been all that great. But now that you're going to give this thing to Marvel, and they're going to somehow or another have to tie this in with the other heroes and the other storylines that we've seen in Marvel, for me, it's definitely Wakanda Forever and Fantastic Four. But let's see what the people talking about.
You know what would be great though? You know it'd be great
that?
if they did in Fantastic Four, if they have Captain America go up to Johnny Blaze and say, "You look familiar."
They might.
You know what?
They might.
That would be just awesome.
The question is, are they going to use the same guy?
Oh hell no. Hell no.
They're gonna pick a new Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, of course.
They have to.
Of course. They have to. They got to. So Carbro wants Wakanda and Doctor Strange. So that's Larry. My folk Buzz, who be on that leg press doing 10 plates. Y'all got to see this brother. He's strong as hell. He wants Wakanda Forever and the Eternals. And Nita the Diva, she wants Eternals and Black Panther. Be sure to subscribe to her channel. She be coming with that fire, with that good hood reviews for y'all down there on them TV shows. Let's see here. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to escape on out of here. Y'all know what I usually have to do these times of the night. And
change
so we're going
to
change diapers and get folks in bed. So be sure, all of you guys, please like this video, share us. We are a diverse group of YouTubers.
Wait, before we go, can we get one super chat coming through before we go?
I know, man.
I know,
man.
Can we get one super chat for the crew coming through?
I know, man. It's like Monday. Nobody want to dig in that wallet on Monday for a brother. But it's all good. It's all good.
You know, today is the 3rd. Some people got paid on the 1st and 15th.
Come on, man. See, Larry, people don't like it when you count their wallet. People don't like it when you count their chips. So all I want y'all to do for me tonight is just like my video, share it with some people, because Godfather of Harlem is really, really good. So if you would do me that solid, just take this video and share it with people who like these type of stories, and we'll get back with y'all on Wednesday. So that's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe to Moochie's channel, subscribe to Larry's channel. And until that next Sex is Hell video, we'll see you guys.
Peace.